It's estimated that 80% of the people fail to keep their New Year's resolution after 1 month. You start the year with the best of intentions, with a new beginning, promising yourself change. You want to be in that other 20%. So if you stick with me through this episode to keep your intentions, if you stick with me with this in this episode, we'll help you keep your intentions. You'll learn what's new from the folks who are maintaining the core and community contributions in the code base. We'll help you find those 4 opportunities in 2024 to improve your know-how and know-who. And if you stay with us until the end, I'll share with you how you can supercharge your career with this one other method. And in doing so, we'll give you 5 additional opportunities to jumpstart and boost yourself up throughout this year and keep to your resolutions. So if all that interests you, as Meteor developers or software engineers out there, I just want to welcome you to This Week in MeteorJS. We are at episode 20. So we've gotten through 20. Oh, well, we will have gotten through 20 of these at the end of this episode. And I want to say Happy New Year. This is This Week in MeteorJS, a news weekly live stream of the MeteorJS Dispatches podcast. I'm your host, Alim Gafar in New York City.
I'm Dvorak, aka Storyteller in Prague.
Hi, I'm Küster from Germany. Welcome and Happy New Year.
And with that, I'm going to turn this over to the first part of this episode, which is the news. And why don't you guys take it away?
All right, here we go. So first things first, we have news from Meteor 3, which everybody is super excited about. We are finally in the beta. So 3.0-beta.0 is out. So you might have seen towards the end of the year, me and a couple of people are frantically running around trying to update some packages and run things. I have to say I personally got along. And I've also learned a new, let's say, breaking change for packages. And that is that if you are using methods or subscription, you need to specify that you are depending on a DDP package. Otherwise, depending on how things are going to load, you might not have the necessary methods on the Meteor object. So that's, I would say, kind of the big takeaway so far from me testing Meteor 3 beta, that you have to now be more specific in your packages on what you depend, so you have all the necessary resources. And we also have a new Blaze. So what's that about, Jan?
Yeah, so especially the Blaze users have awaited this for quite some time. There were recent developments for a year or something, but somehow we all didn't manage to release as we thought it should be. But now it's released. It's Blaze 2.8, and there are lots of smaller fixes, but also the bigger async support and support for async tracker, the deprecated packages like the UI package is now officially deprecated. Some smaller fixes are in there, and you should be able to update the package by updating the Blaze HTML template package in your packages list. So most Blaze users don't have explicitly Blaze in their package .meteor packages list, but Blaze HTML templates. And if you update that to 2.0.1, it will draw all the other required Blaze packages for you. And if there are any conflicts, there's anything weird, not expected, or breaking, then please don't hesitate, open the discussion on the GitHub repo or contact us in the forums and let us know if there's anything breaking. And soon we will also talk a little bit more about the future of Blaze in our upcoming Blaze panel, which we will announce here as well. And until that, have fun trying out, and let us know if it's working and it's great. That's also something we'd like to hear, right?
Yes. So what else do we have in the Meteor ecosystem?
Oh yeah, there's some other big news coming up, and this is something I'm personally very happy about. As you might already have heard or know, that I was working in the past on Meteor React Native, which was not my invention, but I picked that up. And I'm now officially a co-owner of the Meteor React Native organization. And this is a good opportunity to bring Meteor React Native closer together, because now I have much more flexibility, and in terms of planning, I have lots of ideas coming up. So there is this organization on GitHub, MeteorRN, that's the Meteor React Native, and I will keep this organization as its own, but you can consider it being part of the Meteor community packages now. And this is something great, because now people can be sure that Meteor React Native will remain as a part of the packages ecosystem. And as you see, I also updated the repository a little bit, the readmes and all that stuff. And I have something to ask you, Jan. Can you please scroll up and show our viewers a very important action? When you're on the right, there's a field called star. Could you please click on that? Thank you. So so please, everyone, if you're interested in that packages, please try it out. Let me know if there is something not working, or if you have any remaining features. There is now a discussion open, and that's the most important for this package now. There will be a 3.0 roadmap, and it's very important to get also ideas and inputs from other people. We have already collected stuff, what we have to implement, but it's very important to get feedback from everyone who's, even if you're not using it yet, but maybe interested or evaluating it, and say like, oh yeah, I would use it, but I need this and that. Please join the discussion. Together we can shape the future of this and make this 100% Meteor 3.0 compatible, but also work beyond things like offline first. Yeah, this is something we want to work on. And just for you to know, the most recent addition is it has now the 2FA support and some better TypeScript types. So there is ongoing development, and as I'm using it for my projects as well, there will be ongoing development as well in the future.
All right. So starring, you can also like our video. That would help us a lot. I personally use liking or disliking to kind of bookmark myself what videos I have watched or not, so I don't accidentally waste time watching something that I already watched. So please consider giving us a like. And we are off to our, before I go to our next item, there is also quick news that I just got literally before this broadcast, and we got the collection to allow and index packages. So those are extension to collection 2, and you could say simple schema, and those will be crucial for those who use them in your project to make it easier to upgrade to the next major version with Meteor 3. So we have all of those packages now under our full control, and we'll move forward. Speaking of moving forward and around, I'm right now in the middle of planning what, let's just say, called the Europe tour. And that in the first quarter of this year, I would like to go kind of around and visit everybody where they are. So I will be starting in Prague, obviously. We'll set up some meetup. And then I would like to go and kind of visit places around, Europe, if where possible. I'm looking for people who would be, or companies who would be interested in sponsoring, say, a location or help with organizing the meetup so that we can have, say, better spaces or trying to meet better. Also, if you want, me to come before that round to your company and talk about Meteor 3 or maybe look on some of the things, hit me up as well. I'll be more than happy to do that. So I have put in here some locations that I would really like to do. And then I have a poll so you can kind of vote which one you would like me to go to, or you can also comment here and tell me if there is like a city or place that has a strong Meteor community or where your company is and you would like to see me, and I'll be happy to show around. And kind of related to that, I will be in March in the States, mostly around, you could say, upstate New York and Pennsylvania, but who knows where else things can take me. So also, if you are from the States, would like to meet up, I have another topic on that, so please write in there and let's get something organized so that can have more one-on-one chats and get all of that sorted out. And speaking of getting organized, meeting together, I've also discovered a new feature on X, aka Twitter, called Communities. And I've created a MeteorJS community. I've tried to add everybody I know that uses Meteor, but for some people I could not add you for some reason. So head over to communities and search for MeteorJS, and you can just add yourself. And it's kind of like a specific stream for Meteor, and I'll be posting there myself, not just advertisement for my stuff, but also what else that can I come across. And with that, I think that's it for the news that we want to share. Anything else from you guys?
I would just like to say, please vote. We only know what to cover, what people like to be covered if you attend the voting, and the same is for the forums. For the voting doesn't seem to be working.
There is, and this specifically for some reason the voting did not work. I'll try to recreate it. But even if it doesn't work, you can still comment, and we can kind of get an idea from that as well.
Cool.
Very cool.
Okay.
Very cool. Oh, my camera is off. Hang on a second. So I hope everybody had a really good new year. There is a lot of revelry in New York that goes on. The big place for everybody to show up, if you can, is Times Square. A lot of people show up there. I think a lot of New Yorkers stay home, which is what I did this year. I don't know how you guys ended up celebrating the New Year's Eve and welcoming in the New Year's. Storyteller?
I was sick, so I was alone
right.
at home. So
yeah,
I was at home as well with family and friends.
Very nice, very nice. So for those of you who are in the chat right now, we'd love to hear how you guys spent your time down there, and also, have you made some resolution? Are there some improvements in your life that you're looking to do this year, especially around software development, what we do, right? And specifically Meteor. So if you have something that you're thinking about, a resolution that you've made, drop it in the chat. We would love to see what you guys are talking about. Happy New Year, Daniel. We see some folks in the chat. Fred is over here. Fred, the CEO of Meteor, is in our chat. Hello, Fred. It's good to see you. We have Lasad, who's been a member of our community now, and we see him from time to time, in the chat too. Want to say hi to him? Shout out. He asks a lot of really good questions. And Min is here also. Hey, Min. How are you? Happy New Year. And also Elon Musk. Now, again, I'm not sure if Elon Musk is just a funny handle or if that is actually the name of the person. I would love to find out. But,
He said last time that it's, I believe it was a fun.
It was a fun
handle.
handle. Well, it certainly makes me smile every time I see it. So, hey, Elon, it's good to see you here. And Daniel, I hope everything's going well with the construction of your house. Daniel's in Cyprus, and he had been a guest here before and probably will be a guest again with us sometime soon. And so I think what we'll do now is we'll move on to the next section, which is our features. And what are we covering right now? We're covering some useful resources, aren't we, Storyteller?
Yes, we are covering, and I have here for you, let me switch the view, an article for our React enthusiasts and developers, especially if you are beginning, that talks about props and very nicely visualizes how props work in React with all the different options that you kind of do. And so if you're if you're beginning in React, this is a very nice, let's say, intro tutorial. If you're a veteran like me, this doesn't really give you that much, but it's still a nice visualization how things, how you can put things together and how does it work.
Really cool. All right. And this next segment is new, and this is related to what I was talking about at the opener when we talked about the ways you can step up your game this year. And one of the ways that you might do that, developing your more of your know-how and your know-who, is by attending conferences and meetups. And we have a bunch of them here. And Jan, I don't think I gave you any prep links to go to. I think there's one here for Congress Next.js. Okay, so let me just run right into about 4 or 5 of these that are coming up relatively soon. You might still have an opportunity to attend them, and if you do, you may want to go. So we're going to look into February. And coming up this February is Congress Next.js, which is going to be held in Warsaw, Poland, and that's going to be on February 2nd. I'm just going to run through them. We're going to offer the links a little later and share them with you. There is NG India 2024, which is being held in Delhi, India, on the 10th of February. And shout out to all of our Indian friends out there. I know that there's a large contingent of folks in India, in the subcontinent area, whether it's India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal. There are quite a few folks out there that are using Meteor. We would love to hear more from you. We've seen that there's been some writing on Meteor. Some of it tends to be on the more introducing Meteor side of things. We'd love to see some deeper content, and we'd love to collaborate if we can and bring some of you folks in here too. So, please, if you're out there and you haven't really participated in the live stream, please do so. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to chat with you and get more involved that way as part of the community. And then after the 10th of February with NG India, there is DevOps.js conference in 2024. That's going to be held online. I will make sure that you have a link for that. And then the last 2 that I have here that are relatively upcoming, that are in the near future are the JS World Conference 2024. And that's going to be held in Amsterdam, Netherlands. That's February 28th. And then going into March, the first one that I have there is Open Source Day, and that's going to be held in Florence, Italy. So that should be fun. And that's March 7th, which, it gives a good number of different conferences that are JavaScript related that you might want to go to. And again, there's probably plenty there. I've kind of looked at some of the offerings, and they are very interesting. So there's plenty there that you could do to go and learn more about the field that you're in, meet people that, hear topics that are relevant to JavaScript development, and then on top of that, meet some new people that perhaps you might not have before, to grow your network in terms of your professional network. And remember, I said that there would be a bonus to this, that there'd be a little extra. Well, part of the extra, part of the way that you can really turbocharge and supercharge your career, and we've seen this directly when I used to run the MeteorJS, the Meteor NYC meetup in New York, and also having run a couple of conferences, is that the people that get out and share what they know by talking about it at meetups and at conferences get known. And when they get known, headhunters find them. And when headhunters find them, or when somebody comes to a conference and meets you and they work at a different company, and we've seen this happen at places like American Express, we've seen it happen at places like Priceline, at at companies like SpaceX, for instance, right? We've seen people that spoke, presented at things as small as meetups, things as large as conferences, be approached by employers or others who want to collaborate with them, and that has helped them jump their careers into like the next stage. And so one of the ways to do that, as I said before, is to speak. And we have some RFPs that are open right now that I'd like to share with you guys. One is App.js Conference in Krakow. That closes on the 28th of January. And so we have a link to the RFP there. There is no TLV. I mentioned some of these last week. They're still there and open. That's going to be in Tel Aviv. And their RFP closes. Their CFP, their call for papers, closes on the 31st of January. And then we have Cascadia.js in Seattle, Washington. And that one closes on the 4th of February. We have JavaScript and Friends in Columbus, Ohio. And that closes on the 13th of February. And finally, to round this out just for the month of February, we'll just stay with this for now. There are others that we have, and if you're interested, we're going to put a mailing list together that you can get on, and we're kind of trying to keep this updated for the year, so that way you'll get some notice every, however often on that mailing list. We'll have to figure that out, what the duration is going to be, what the frequency is going to be. We'll let you know when these other events are, and you'll just kind of like get a steady feed of opportunities. The last one I have on my list here is for the 29th of February. This is a leap year, apparently, and it is for the JS Conference Ireland in Dublin, and that's going to be held in Dublin, Ireland this year, and should be fun. So, guys, what we'd love to see is some of you filling out applications to speak at some of these events. We have some over Europe, as you've noticed. We've had some United States. If you know of others in other parts of the world that are happening that we don't have information about, please share them with us, so that we can share them with everyone, right? So we're looking for what conferences are happening in Africa. We've got one for India. Love to find out more about what's going on in that part of the world, in APAC, as much as possible, because many times there are not that many of those conferences or meetups that are advertised or published. So, if you have access to information and you'd like to see more people attend, or that there's an opportunity that others could benefit from, please share it with us. And then, of course, South America doesn't get well represented here. I know that there've been a couple in Brazil, and I would love to see more conferences posted about that we can then share to others, either to attend the conference or to do a call for papers. So, Jan Brothers, are any of you guys interested in actually like filling out an application for any of these conferences?
I will really have to look closely at my schedule because this year is pretty crazy. I would love to do some, and I shall see how things turn out.
I think Küster, in the first half of the year, I think on the spreadsheet that we're tracking this on, there were a few that are ML related that are in Mainz, Germany, or Berlin. So is that an opportunity that you might be able to take up?
Yeah, that depends on if it's working out with my work. Because I also submitted to a research software engineering conference already.
Oh, cool.
And I have to always get the funding right. And basically, that's just simply attending and networking. This is always something I'd love to do. But I'm also interested in submitting stuff, of course. And I have to see if there's something working out with the work we do at the university.
Yeah.
And then I'm open to that. This is also something I would love to encourage to everyone from the Meteor community. If you see a conference and there is a topic that suits what you're doing, and there is a fit, and you think that's cool, then don't hesitate to apply, because the worst you can get is a rejection. Oh, that's not what we want, or even better, please minor or major revision, and then submit again, and then maybe you accept it. And everybody needs to start sometime. Everybody who has spoken on these conferences, all these people, they started sometime. Like with the development, the same.
You know, I think one of the things I'd like to do, because it's been on hiatus for a while, is the Meteor NYC meetup. I think the last time we had it, we had actually, we may have had you as one of the last speakers, right? You and Radek did some meetup for us, and you did some presentation. So what I would suggest to you guys is, if you're interested in developing yourself as a speaker, developing yourself as a presenter, there are a couple of ways that we can help you. One is, if you have something interesting that you've worked on or so on, reach out to us also and let us know that you might want to come on the show and share. So that's one. But if you're a little shy about that, you're not so confident about how that can go. One of the things we did at the Meteor NYC meetup, and we'll go again, and that's going to be virtual for a while. And I think Storyteller, you've also run your own meetups also, right?
Yes.
Online. So we have some opportunities to do some online presentations. And we're looking for content for the year. And so if you have some idea, if you've worked on something, if you've run into some, awful bug that you were able to track down and figure out how to either fix, or even if you have a situation where you've got a project ongoing where you're running into some headache, and it could be, as one of the things that we've been talking about lately is the migration, then package that up into some kind of presentation and reach out to us and say, look, I would like to do either a local New York presentation, and if we could do it live, we'll do it live. Otherwise, we'll do it on the stream. Or I'd like to do a global presentation, which is what Jan is basically, he runs, is these sort of global meetups. Is you'd like to do something at that level where it's a little less formal. You can make a mistake, and then we can make the decision as to whether or not we keep the presentation up or not, depending on how you feel. So, there is like this safe space and a way to try things out and, give it a shot and fail and pick up and not necessarily be in front of a group of 1,000 people or 10,000 people, if you're worried about how you're going to come off. So that's an option, right? So, Storyteller, do you have a input on this at all?
No, I'll just have to get everything back set up again and all that stuff, and gonna stay tuned more for the second and third quarter.
Yeah.
In this regards, because first really needs to, in the first quarter, do a lot of other things in preparation for all of these other more exciting things that come later.
Yeah. And for now, first quarter, second quarter for me, I can, again, if somebody wants to do some presentation, I'm happy to work with them to make it happen in the Meteor NYC meetup. So that's it. And I think we move on to the next section, right? We have some shout outs, or a shout out.
Yeah, there is a article from Chris Taylor, customer success manager at AWS Quality, wrote an article on Salesforce with MeteorJS, and it sounds very promising. And if you are working with Salesforce, or this is a topic where you're interested in, then you should open this, open the link and check this out. And I will not go too deep into it. So it mostly goes into what Meteor is. Many of the stuff you already know, but it's very beginner friendly. That's cool. And then it shows like how you can make this work with Salesforce together from a conceptual basis. So there's no code or something, but maybe we can get more from Chris Taylor. So shout out to you. Hopefully there will be also more practical article following up on this. We might be onto it.
So I think the thing that's really great about this is that this is recent content, right?
Yeah.
Küster, what was this? This was early December?
Yeah, December. No, late December. That's like just before New Year's Eve.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I just said it's just before New Year's Eve. So this is not one of these 5-year-old articles you stumble across, but that's new, that's recent. So, and hopefully we get more of that.
Yeah, so the thing I want to point out here also is that not only is it recent, it's very beginner level, and that's okay. And it was published on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn doesn't have a lot of Meteor content right now, so it's really greenfield. It's a really great way of, reaching out and demonstrating to a network, a social network of professionals, your knowledge of the platform and what you can do with it. So there's, I think, a real opportunity to be able to write articles, publish them there, and reach out to folks that might be interested in having an application developed and being able to use your skills as Meteor developers to do that. On top of that, though, it's a great place to just let other people know about recent Meteor, right? What's going on and what you can use it for and how it can be used, because it's been a long time since many people have heard about it. As a matter of fact, recently, we ran into a situation where we saw somebody posting on Reddit asking about, should I try Meteor? And someone else responded, Meteor is like dead and buried for the last 8 years. And we had to go in and correct this notion to people. So I think it's wonderful that if you have the ability, you want to post an article and you're wondering, I only know really beginner stuff. Where can I post it anyway? And that somebody might be interested. Well, do what this guy Chris did on LinkedIn. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said this guy Chris. Do what Chris Taylor did on LinkedIn. Sorry, Chris. Chris and I are actually now, on the same network in LinkedIn. I reached out to him after he wrote this article, and we've connected. So we started a dialogue. Hopefully that'll continue. So, folks, all right, that's good. And Storyteller, what do we have for upcoming deep dives and hot topics?
Yeah, so I have a shameless self-promotion after the stream at 6 p.m. Central European time, so in about not even 2 hours, I will be doing a deep dive into Express.js. Or maybe surface dive. I'll be going over a tutorial I found, and I will be looking on how I can leverage that knowledge with Meteor 3 beta, and hopefully also to migrate some packages. And on Monday, I will be doing more of a visionary look on an alternative for Express.js. It's called Hono.js, which is supposed to be faster and have more platforms that it covers, and in general be pretty much the cool new stuff. So I'll be looking on that. So that's what I'm doing today, Express, to look at what's coming up in Meteor 3. And on Monday, I'll be looking at what we might see maybe in Meteor 4 or 5, or maybe more down the road, or if Hono is possibly an alternative that we can have coming up.
All right. And with that, let's see what we got here. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at chat messages right now, guys, so that I could see what's been going on. So just a quick reminder on things here, which is we appreciate you guys joining us. We love doing this. We're up to, I believe, 140 subscribers. It's growing. That's because you guys are sharing with us the fact that you find this valuable. You want to be notified when we do an update, when we do a new episode. And I have to remember the camera is right here, not over there, not over there. It's right here. So I still have to practice with this. When I use a real camera, it's really obvious to me. When I'm using my laptop, it's a little more tricky. So I'm still kind of figuring this out. I'm like the slowest learner, it seems, here in terms of all of this. But you guys know that, and hopefully you're okay with that to some degree. So anyway, I want to remind you that if you can, please click the like button and show us that you appreciate what we're doing and that you're finding it useful. And of course, if you do think that you want to come back again and again, hit that subscribe button. Every person that subscribes onto this adds to where we are placed in the algorithm in terms of how YouTube sees us and allows our program to get discovered by other people who may not have had the privilege of being able to know what we do. So that's a great thing if you can make that happen. And one of the other things I want to remind you about is the fact that the folks that are working here on this, we're all doing this, on our own time, as I said before, and on our own dime. And if you want to support the work that's being done on Meteor by the community, whether it's on the community packages or on core development, I will encourage you all to consider sponsoring some of our developers. Both Storyteller and Küster have sponsorship pages on GitHub. And so if you're interested in making sure that they get loaded up on coffee or other kinds of stimulants to keep them going as they code away and make sure that you have the best tools and platform available, then show your appreciation by making a donation to their sponsorships. And with that, I would like to mention a couple of things that are coming up as we go forward. We have decided as a group that we are going to be involving more and more of the Meteor community in this podcast going forward. That's not just as we've been trying to do, pull community members out and highlight and showcase the good work that they're doing and have them discuss the projects that they're working on and how they can benefit you. But we're also been reaching out to our friends over at Meteor Software, and starting next week, we are going to be seeing more and more of them in these episodes as we go forward, perhaps every 2 weeks or so. But starting next week, I think I have a commitment from Fred, who is the CEO of Meteor. You have not seen him on this program yet. And Fred will be joining us next week to share more. Also, interacting again with the folks that are in the live chat. So come join us. You get a chance to talk to the CEO of Meteor Software, and I think that'll be really cool. And we'll have Gabriel Gruba joining us. Gruba, I do it again. This is like the fourth time I've messed up on Gabriel's name. He'll be joining us more regularly. He's been designated as sort of like the technical rep from Meteor to interact a lot with the community, and he mentioned some of that, I believe, in 2 episodes before, not last week, but the week before when he joined you guys, right? So if you want to hear more about like what his involvement is and so on, go back and take a look at that episode and watch it and get some information there. And I believe we're going to be doing, I think Küster would like to do some more live coding in the future and include opportunities to share more technical content with you. And if that is something that you look forward to, let us know in the comments, because we're trying to give you what you can benefit from, what you'd like to see. So we're going to be changing things up a bit. We're going to get a little more interactive. We're going to have more people from the community. and we're going to have more speakers joining us as we go forward into the future. So with that, unless either of the Yans have something else to add before we go for the weekend, I'll say sayonara.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Goodbye.